Hi, how are you today? My name is Andrea. I am a children's book author. I go by Andi Cann, Cann, Andicann. Anyway, I've written about 23 children's books, if you can believe it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about what the process is for being a children's book author, because lots of people can do it. It just depends on kind of what you want to do. So the first thing I do is I think about what kind of story I want to write. And sometimes it's a story about a dog, sometimes it's a story about friendship, sometimes it's a story about a lizard. It just kind of depends on what kind of story you want to write. And then sometimes what I do is I write it down on paper. And sometimes it's paper, sometimes I type it. It sort of depends, if I'm sitting around and all of a sudden sometimes I'll be thinking about a story, sort of come to me and I'll start to write it down. Sometimes I have to think about it a little bit. Having some time to yourself to think about creative things is really important. So I try to take some time to do that. And then what I do is I look for an illustrator. An illustrator is an artist who knows how to draw and color and paint and create the illustrations for the book. And so what'll happen is I will get illustrations from the artist and we'll talk about them. She'll say, or he'll say, this is what I'm thinking for this page. This is what I'm thinking for that page. And we'll start, and if you wait to the end, I'll share with you some examples of some works in progress. And so the next thing is we work on those together, and then we work on a cover, and then at the end you end up with a finished book. So once you put the book together, you load it up to Amazon or to one of the other sites, Ingram Spark or Lulu or others, and then you can either have a printed book or you can have an ebook. And it's a really fun way to create a message, a story, something that other people can benefit from. So, like I said, I have 23 books. I'm going to pause for a second here. So you can see here that I have some drawings from one of my artists. This is some ideas for characters. So this is an example of a character. She said, do you like, which of these little girls do you like to be the main character of the book? So I chose the one on the right. Her name's Sophie, so that's very exciting. And then she said, well, what about Fancy Francie? And this was her initial sketch, but I decided that I didn't really like that as much. I wanted a fluffier tail. And so she thought about it, and we talked about it. And here's a one with a little bit more of a fluffy tail. And ultimately, as we work together, you can see here's an example of Fancy Francie and her sweet, cute tail. So it's pretty exciting to watch a story come to life. You can see on my screen that there's different spreads and there's different things as they come to life. And then I go back in and I polish all the words to make sure that they sound good and are very readable. And that becomes a very exciting, here's one coming up. We have it, this is just sort of sketched out by the artist, but I don't have the color yet. So we'll see what that's going to look like. Here's one that is sketched out. Here's one sketched out. Isn't that cool? And then look at, this is what it looks like after the person has colored it. Isn't that great? So that's the fun thing about reading books and creating books. And as a children's book author, that is what I do. So, and then I, publish it and talk about it and market it, make sure people know about it. So that is what it's like being a children's book author. So I hope you enjoy hearing about this. If you have any questions, follow me on Instagram at Andi Cann Books. You can go to my Facebook page, Andi Cann Books. You can also visit my website, andycan.com, and you can also find me on Pinterest. So anyway, lots of places to find me. You can also email me at andycanauthor@gmail.com. Take care. Have a great day.